July is like getting a second New Year's. The phrase that stuck with me most in June, I think, is one of my students told me: eliminate your unhappiness. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode here on the Ashlyn Writes channel. I'm Ashlyn, a calligrapher and a copywriter, and every single month I pop in and give you an update on my personal goal setting, how that's going, and how I use a tool called Powersheets to get that done. If you've missed the previous videos in this series, I will link those below. Also, I do these in tandem with my dear friend and the wizard behind this YouTube channel, Trina Little, and also with Allie Walker. So I will link their July update videos below as well. As we get started, if you are new around here or if you've been hanging out for a while, go ahead and hit subscribe if you haven't already. I create videos every single Friday, and that's how you are going to be first to know when those come out. So I use this tool called Powersheets. This is created by Lara Casey and her Cultivate What Matters team to activate and really go after the goals and the things that I think are super important in life. It can be so easy to listen to the world and what the world says we should have on our lists as successes and things that we need to tick off, how much money we need to have, how many followers we need to have, all of that noise. And so this has been what has really helped me since about 2015, zero in on what is actually important to me and my personal values and set up an action plan to go after those things. Like I said, I've been using this tool since about 2015, which is right around the time I got the inkling to leave corporate America and start my own thing. So it's been really spooky / also motivating to look back and see what actually has transpired through these power sheets, see the goals that I've set and accomplished, and really what the Lord's done over time. One thing that really helps me put these power sheet goals in action is my simplified planner. The other thing that helps me is a system that I call day batching or theming your days. I created a video the other week that's been pretty popular on that, so I will link that below. And I've also now created a little mini freebie workbook for you to go through and figure out where you need to be spending your time and possibly what your theme days could be. If calendar blocking and theme days is something that you haven't explored before, make sure you click below and grab that freebie. So here's my attending list for June. You can see things that I did and plenty of things that I did not do. More on that in a sec. We're pregnant, or I'm pregnant, however you say that. What's so funny is at the very beginning of this year, in January, when I was showing you my goals for the year, I put tape over the word pregnancy because I just didn't want anybody to be asking questions or DMing, or I wasn't really sure where my head was with the whole situation. So it's just funny that that was something that I knew I wanted to pray about moving into this year, and it happened very quickly for us, which is such a blessing. And with all the respect in my heart for all of my friends and even family members that have been struggling to get pregnant, and I can't imagine what that is like. It's just, to be completely frank, I blogged about it. I'll link that below. It was something that was harder than I imagined to wrap my head around because we didn't have a plan really, and it happened so quickly. So that's been a huge adjustment for me the past few months, and I've wanted to say something so badly in these video updates to you guys about why I was slacking on some goals. I'll get into that in a minute, but it's so exciting to finally be out and open about this exciting change and huge blessing that we are pumped about. Like I said, I'll link the blog post below where we share a lot of the photos that my friend Chelsea took for us, and also a lot of the questions that we have gotten as well. Also, I'm wearing a maternity shirt and they're very comfortable. Big goal number 2 that happened in June, I wanted to go on my Mastermind retreat and actually be present. I traveled so much at the beginning of this year speaking, also hard while you're growing a human. So June was a great time that we didn't really have to travel a lot. We took one weekend and made a wedding that Wes was in, like a little vacation for us. Fabulous. But also the other big trip I had was for my Mastermind retreat. Now, Mastermind is a group of like-minded peers that get around and help kind of iron sharpens iron sense, help one another with their businesses. They can be peer-led, they can be led by a coach, they can be paid, they can be free. But the one that I happen to be in is my dear friend Jenna Kutchers. Jenna was one of my very first clients in my business. Then she turned into a friend. She's seen the ins and outs of not only my marriage, but my relationships and my business, of course, from the beginning. So when I was looking for some kind of a coach to have as a mastermind leader, I knew she is who I wanted to have more of her eyes on my business. So we went up to Minneapolis, got to meet up with my incredible Mastermind sisters, and the thing that I really focused on going into this was having all of the content prepped on the back end and being able to be present that week and spend some time thinking about looking out on these next 2 quarters of the year before maternity leave, now that I have this as part of it, and see what I wanted life to look like. Also, it was the very first time I had somebody in my inbox the entire week. I finally have an assistant on that is doing that every single day. Hey Kate, love you so much. So when Kate came on, I was able to take all of the email templates that I had in my arsenal and hand them over to her. It felt so good to be able to do that. By the way, if you've not seen my freebie about 28 email templates that you need to have in your business, whether you are the one running your inbox or you're handing it off to somebody else, make sure that you grab that. I will link that freebie down below as well. Last big update that happened, I was able to start wrapping up my one-on-one clients for the year and really focus on our August sabbatical. For business finances, my friend and financial mentor, Shanna Skidmore, has a program called the Blueprint Model, and we walked through it before our last August sabbatical, my husband and I, and I've also had the privilege of taking women through it as well, but it's the system that helped us set up financially the year. So I knew going into the year that if we were gonna have this annual family tradition that we started last year of having a sabbatical, Wes arranges his time off, I arrange my time off. We don't do work for a good 3-4 weeks out of the year. But I know that financially we're covered because I've spaced out my clients as such. As for my weekly goals, I created 5 videos and uploaded them here on YouTube for you guys to watch. And I also kept up with my weekly review of like the goals and what went good and what went bad. I've talked a little bit about that before, but something that I did every single week this past month is plan my weekends during the week. I talked about this a little on Instagram. I'll show it to the side so you can screenshot that if you need to, but that's been something that's been really helpful as well. Things I struggled with working out. I think I missed entirely the memo that you get exhausted when you get pregnant. I never knew that and was pretty sick. So yeah, just went on a lot of walks the past few months, if that. I also have had on my list for a while to package up my editorial system so I can hand it off to, again, Kate, my assistant, and I haven't really done that very well. So some of my big goals for July. Goal number 1 is to create a new program about email templates and productivity so you can get more time back in your day. Copywriting should be a system in your business that does heavy lifting for you so you can do what you get paid to do. I'm really passionate about that. So as I create that, you're gonna see how I cut down on my one-on-one work so I can spend more time these next 2 quarters serving our customers and students. We still take one-on-one work, but it's mostly my associate copywriter who handles that, and I copy chief her. This also means a whole lot of saying no and protecting my margin, which y'all know is always something that I am working on learning right alongside you. Another big goal, I really want to focus on my health since I have energy back. It is so great. So I want to go to the gym that I'm already paying for at least 3 times a week. Third big goal, I want to reset with our finances with that blueprint model I was telling you about before. I tend to be not the best at finance and numbers. Clearly, I am a words girl. And so I used to be so diligent and have this really good system where I checked in on our finances every week. I have fallen off the bandwagon on that. So I really want to get back on that, especially now that I'm looking and trying to plan out how to take about 3 months off from work around December and just plan to have another body living under this roof. Fourth big thing, I'm going to France, my favorite country besides the US, and I'm really excited about that because I adore France. I'm going to speak at the Signature Atelier, my friend Abby and Catherine's retreat, and one thing I can just like already see is just calm, slow mornings in the French countryside with a cup of coffee and getting to speak some French again, and I'm so excited. By the way, since it's July, I get a lot of questions about starting Powersheets now. Is it too late? And I want to say it is completely not too late. There are Powersheets for 6 months at a time. There are Powersheets for 12 months. And one of my favorite things that Lara Casey says is there's nothing special about the first of the year. You can start any old time. So again, I love them. They are the tool that works for me. So I hope you have learned a little bit how I use them, and they are really a tool that has benefited me for years and years now. Okay, now it's your turn. I want you to share with me below an action step, something that you are working on this month, and I want to see how I can cheer you on and support you with that. All right, guys, that is it for me today. As always, thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe and continue to get out there and work after your goals, but do it from a place of rest, not hustle.